law violation. And I will read that. The description of the violation. On Friday, October 17th, 2025, as a member of the Grafton Finance Committee, I was copied on an email from Ken Holberger, the treasurer of the Community Preservation Committee, to Town Administrator Evan Broussard, copy attached, expressing his opinion and recommendations on a parcel located at 324 Providence Road. Potential purchase of this property is on the warrant for the Grafton Town Meeting, scheduled to be held on Monday, October 20th, 2025. In this email, Mr. Holberger expressed his opinion on what would be considered a definitive decision by the Conservation Administrator, along with other opinions and recommendations concerning this parcel. Mr. Holberger also copied members of the Community Preservation with this email. This is clearly a violation of the open meeting law, as he expressed his opinion outside a duly posted meeting of the, I think he corrected it, Grafton Community Preservation Committee. And the request that the body take is the Community Preservation Committee should post a meeting as soon as possible and disclose the violation of the open meeting law and incorporate this email into the minutes of the duly posted meeting. In addition, Mr. Holberger should be required to take additional open meeting law training as soon as possible to ensure that he does not violate the open meeting law again in the future. And it was signed by Mr. Haddad, who's a member of the Finance Committee. So Ken responded, and that was in our packet. If you want to.
Okay, well, I guess I'll read it into the record.
Okay.
So the content of the October 17th, 2025 email reply message in question was commentary on reports distributed by the town administrator that day to the Select Board, the Finance Committee, and the Community Preservation Committee. Those reports concerned due diligence the TA had done after the October 16th, 2025 CPC vote on the Providence Road property grant application. The recipients were the recipients of the ply were all the recipients of the original message. As the vote on the grant application had previously been taken by the CPC, and the CPC had no further decision-making role, the grant was no longer public business within the jurisdiction of the Community Preservation Committee. The topic of the email thread was, at that time, within the jurisdiction of the Select Board and the Finance Committee. Thus, the email reply message does not meet the definition of deliberation by the CPC. And I'll make an aside here. This is the same issue that came up the first time there was a violation filed against the CPC. The Department of Revenue determined that though there were certainly a quorum of members at that Select Board meeting, that the topic being discussed was a matter for the Select Board, not a matter for the CPC, and thus it was not a violation. This is the same thing. So, even if a violation could be construed, it was unintentional. The email reply was intended to be comments on the sender's capacity as a private citizen. It was written in that voice, and it did not reference any past or future action of the CPC or any member. The inclusion of the sender's CPC position after his name was inadvertent and was a mistake, freely admitted and apologized for. This issue does not rise to the letter or the intent of the open meeting law, and I apologize again to the committee for that mistake and becoming the target of this filing, and I pledge to be particularly attentive to the strictures of the open meeting law in the future. Respectfully submitted.
Okay, thank you.
So does that count as the disclosure that's being asked?
Excuse me?
Is that us just disclosing it that it
That's
took
Ken's
place?
response.
Right,
the-
but does that check the box of it being disclosed? Like, was that,
That checks the box of me responding.
but so can we consider that disclosing it?
Don't know what you mean by that.
So when an open meeting law violation occurs, if you just disclose it and apologize, you can move on. So is that what you're doing? Disclosing it and apologizing so we can move on?
I admitted to what I wrote, and I apologized for becoming the target, but the position is that it was not a violation.
Okay.
So that's not
And I
quite the
think-
same as what you said.
And what I was reading, what I read, it says that could be considered at a meeting. This was considered at a meeting, and so that's the distinction or a fine line of, we'd already dealt with this. So it's, we are no longer considered, we had voted. It was done. And so it's depending on, I don't know if the DOR, whoever it is, has to review that and say, yes, this clearly is a violation, or because this was no longer actionable by your committee, even though it did say an email sent could be considered or would be considered a violation.
If it had those other properties.
If it could be, that's the problem.
So maybe I just need to brush up. It was my understanding that if one of these happens and you just disclose and apologize, which you're very much apologetic for, it puts it to bed. But if you're not disclosing it, which it sounds like you're saying, then it goes further and then ethics weighs in. Is that what you're asking for them to do? Or are you asking to just put it to bed?
Well, I think-
I'm unclear.
The way that the whole thing, it's all, even though you submit this stuff to the clerk and to the state, it's handled internally within this committee. And so
Okay.
what the request is that can be required to take additional open meeting law training, which is, whatever that little video is, as soon as possible. And that, pledge not to violate the open meeting law in the future, which he has pledged to do. So to me, we have two options. One, do we pursue saying we really don't feel like this was a violation? Or do you say because we don't want to waste, we have got other things that we need to do, more important things, and I don't want to get sidetracked on something that if we can just deal with it and say, okay, we're done, we'll be more careful in the future, and just to say, yes, for the sake of argument, I'll say, I will admit to the violation, and then we submit this to Mr. Haddad, and then we're done. And the state,
Can I just?
Sure.
I mean, I don't think you're necessarily done. It's up to him to decide whether our explanation or Ken's explanation addresses his concerns
I
sufficiently.
don't think that, it doesn't say that at all.
Yeah,
All he did is says he's required to take additional open meeting law. He didn't say, I want an explanation.
No, we have to address it. It then goes back to him. He can say, all right, I'm fine with it, and he doesn't pursue it any further. Or he can say he wants to pursue it further, in which case then they will get involved.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
So what are your thoughts, Ken?
Well, I don't think there was a violation.
Ken, I was unable to open that document,
You have one,
sorry.
you have, there's one in the
good
handout.
save.
That's okay.
Sorry. Is there any issues or anything? I don't mind.
That's okay. I'll find something about this other than
Sure.
unless you got something right now.
I'm just looking. I don't think I do.
It's contained.
Yeah, it's contained. I'll grab a thing for the bathroom after we're done. Okay.
Always have one.
Because I wanted to see this.
Nope.
It's not a lot that's spilled.
Here we go.
Okay.
We have a mom in the audience.
You know, I do get
Better
worried.
than nothing.
No, it's okay. I usually have a tissue. Usually
So I threw it in my bag.
come out when I got home.
Andy, you don't have to go.
I agree. I don't think there was a violation. If the timing of this is accurate.
My only thought is, Mr. Haddad's request was make it public and for Ken to retake the open meeting law. accurate. So, if members of the committee feel there's no violation anyway, but we still just do what Mr. Haddad is asking for, and Ken just takes the training one more time, submits a record of the certificate or whatever to the town clerk and committee for our next posting is to have it on our file, that may be enough to satisfy him, and that might be worth doing. That'd be up to Ken to tell us if he's willing to.
I wouldn't be willing to admit to something I didn't feel I had done.
Either would I.
Yeah, I'm more saying even without him saying that he did take an open meeting law training, might be,
I feel like
but it's
we. Personally, I feel like we've discussed it. It's been disclosed. Ken's apologized. The last step is to just take the open meeting law training, which is not very, it's not a heavy lift. So I feel like if that's the last thing to do, you've already done all of the other things. But if that's really something that, and personally, I think anytime you reply all and you share your opinions, that's a violation. And we're not supposed to do that. We all know we're not supposed to do that. And it's not about whether or not you identified as a public citizen. You're just a private citizen. When you have the whole committee on here, you're not a private citizen. It's just the way it is.
So there's one thing you said that's not true. You can reply all, and as long as you're not discussing something that's a deliberation of the
No,
committee.
but what
It's
this
just
did,
best
I can reply all
practice
and
not
say
to.
hello.
it says that sending an email is deliberation.
No,
It
it
did
could
say
be,
that.
but it depends on the content of the
If,
email.
if it could be addressed at the committee, and that's to me my
Okay, yeah,
hiccup with this, is that
Right,
it's past tense,
it was, so that's your point, you made that point.
right.
It was no longer a subject for the committee to discuss. That was your point, and I agree with that.
Even if no one from the public body member responds,
There's a definition of deliberation.
right, I mean, that's,
And
So-
it is, and I can read it if you like.
And just a question, when you say disclose, is that just having this meeting and having meeting minutes?
Yeah, we've just,
Okay.
in my opinion, I think it's been disclosed. Like, this
Alright.
is disclosing right now. He's clearly apologized. So I don't know, I mean, I don't know what we're splitting hairs about. You've apologized, you've disclosed. I don't know.
But
What are you apologizing for then?
For attracting the attention,
Sorry, what?
for attracting the attention. So a deliberation.
oh.
The deliberation is, I got a definition, and I'll read it to you. And I'm going to leave out some words that don't matter. It's an oral, well, I'll say them all. An oral written communication through any medium, including email, between or among a quorum of a public body, and it was an email among a quorum. And then it goes on to say, on any public business within its jurisdiction. That's it. A public business within its jurisdiction. And that's my point. It was not public business within its jurisdiction. So it was not a communication on that subject.
Ken, it was very much about a subject that's within our jurisdiction.
The jurisdiction ended when we voted.
But did it?
We had
Because
no
we're still
further- we had
funding
n-
that project. We're still talking about that project that was going to get brought up at town meeting. I think if you want to go down this path, this is on you. But I think you're splitting hairs. I think I can see why somebody would reasonably believe that that's what this was.
From my perspective, even though we may have had, or the committee had made a decision on it, it can always come back. And so it's,
I mean, it comes back now.
well, just a little different, but
It could take up more of our time.
yes, yeah, and it's one of those things where there's kind of, and again, I just tend to be very conservative when it comes to stuff like this. And to me, I don't see the big deal of this or anything. However, it's like something to me, if it can come in front of this committee, it can always come back.
Okay, all right, so just to put this to bed, I'll agree to take one of those courses.
That's,
And
we all should take it just to support you.
I don't see the harm in that. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm-
I mean,
Okay,
I have to.
If
I
it-
just did it a few
Yeah.
months ago on another open meeting.
I just did it for
that
Concom over the
was
summer.
put out, so
Yeah,
it seems like this town is kind of open meeting law, happy with accusing committees. Committees seem to spend
almost
more
like-
time
it's almost like-
accusing each other of
It's
this
almost
than
like a
focused
weapon,
on their
almost
own
like
stuff.
a weapon.
Oh, well, I would just say, and I don't know all the history and stuff, I would just typically say, if you've been burnt by something, all of a sudden that becomes a focus, and people are hypersensitive to it. And I have no idea the history of open meeting laws. I know the thing that happened, was it last year, and so forth, with attendance at the select board and stuff. But
It's been a couple of years ago.
a couple of years ago, yeah.
Long time ago.
Okay,
Okay.
so just to that this ends the matter, I'll agree to take the open meeting law training thing and stand by the statement I made. So
Yeah, I think as Paul said, it's going to be up to Mr. Haddad on does that satisfy what he's looking for. I think it will, from what I've read in his complaint, and I think we can be.
no, if it satisfies him, that's what I will do.
Okay, so I'll draft a letter that states that Ken agrees that, to take the training, that we are encouraging all members of our committee to take the training as well. We apologize, for any,
If I hurt his feelings.
no.
I
We
wouldn't,
apologize.
I actually wouldn't even,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't even say apologize, I would say.
yeah, me neither.
I would
Yep.
simply say the committee takes the open meeting law very seriously. Therefore, we're encouraging everyone in the committee to retake it
And Ken
and
specifically
try
has
to
it come
avoid
up.
any.
I don't agree to retake it. I just literally took it a few months.
Then that's
Fine.
fine.
We're
That's fine.
encouraging.
That's what I
I
said.
encourage, I
Recommend
didn't
it.
say
That's-
require. I can't require you.
Yeah, no, it's just
It's not
recommended.
required, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
that's well said.
It's required in general, but it's not required for the rest of us to take it again.
Correct, but it's it's however just a very. Yeah. I know I have to look at it again because I have to do something on it.
Yeah, well, I just read it a couple of times, so I should do it quickly.
An expert on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments regarding this? Okay, appreciate everybody. Whoop, sorry.
I move that we make the reply happen, as you described, just to make an official vote on it.
I
Very good
second.
idea.
Yeah.
Second.
Second.
Lots of seconds.
I'm not quick enough on those seconds.
You'll get there.
I have a whole pattern with Concom. It's like.
I have a motion
Yeah, do
and a
it.
second. A motion by Justin and a second by Sandy. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Declare. Motion carried unanimously.
And with that, I will also motion to adjourn.
I have a motion
Second.
to adjourn. I have a motion and a second.
That was your moment. Missed
You
it.
missed it.
I was just.
It was in my head though.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Yeah,
We
Justin's
are
the one
adjourned.
that gets
Thank
to the
you.
point.